So, hello everyone, and welcome to the We Will Listen podcast. And today, Vihaan and I are going to talk about narcissism.
Yes.
It's something very interesting, and both of us wanted to talk about it for a long time. And I think the time is right now. So, yeah, Vihaan, would you like to give basically? Let's first off start with the definition of narcissism.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so narcissism, as most of the people don't know, in case you've been living under a rock, narcissism is basically a person which is generally perceived that a person is obsessed with themselves. But I believe there is a fine difference between a self-obsessed person and a narcissist. Like a self-obsessed person has nothing else in life but to think about themselves and the goods in their personality and just straight up ignore the bads, while I believe a narcissist is a person who works towards he sees those negatives in himself or herself, and they work towards improving them. And a narcissist is a person who cannot just take in that there's something wrong with him, or there's a shortcoming in his personality or in him as a person. And as a result, they do also only see, like, for most of the part, the positive things in themselves, but they also do notice the negatives and try to, like, overcome those negatives and shortcomings. They basically want to become a perfect person, and there are points of time in their mood where they believe they are the perfect person, but deep down every narcissist as well knows that they are not perfect, and they can work literally hours, 24 hours a day, just to become the perfect person that they believe they should be. This is what I believe what a narcissist is. Now, everyone has, honestly, narcissism is such a thing which is very subjective, I believe. A self-obsessed person can believe that they're a narcissist, while a person who just is working towards himself might believe that he's a narcissist. So, Karan, what do you believe? What is a narcissist according to you? Who's a
Okay,
narcissist?
I'll give you the two definitions that I know of. The first one
Yeah,
is the traditional definition that you kind of covered, and the
yeah,
second one is not just our definition of narcissism. So
yeah,
the first definition of narcissism is that is the traditional definition, that is the definition you'll find in a dictionary or something, is
yeah.
that a narcissist is a person who believes that basically they have no flaws,
They
who
have no
believe
flaws.
that they
Yeah,
have
they're the
no
best.
flaws. So
Yeah,
it's not about being self-obsessed. Self-obsessed is feeling is a constant state of thinking about yourself. It's a
mm,
constant state of being within yourself. But
yeah,
narcissism is not necessarily that. That can encompass within the narcissist, but not
okay.
necessarily within the narcissist. For
Yeah,
a narcissist, what I believe is that they believe they don't have any flaws,
mm,
and if they do, so this is the traditional definition, that they don't believe they
yeah,
have any
yeah,
flaws, they're the perfect person. But
yeah, yeah.
I don't believe in that definition of a narcissist. And
Mm,
I have I have one caveat in that, and that one
mm,
caveat is that they don't believe they have any flaws, but as humans everybody does.
yeah,
What a self-obsessed person will do is they'll ignore that they have a flaw, but what a narcissist is going to do is he or she is going to try as fucking hard as possible
mm,
to remove that flaw,
exactly. Yeah,
because that flaw is basically it's a stain in their ledger. It's a stain in
exactly.
their ledger, and they get pissed off by that. They get pissed off by that. What they're going to do is they're going to try to remove that stain. They're going to try to remove that fault in them, that flaw
Yeah,
in them. That it becomes an obsession to remove that flaw. It's an
exactly.
obsession to become perfect,
Perfect.
and that is what
Exactly.
I believe a narcissist to be. And
Yeah.
uh, I mean, it's all of us, all of the people that who know us know that we both do identify as narcissists. And
Yeah.
a lot of people take this in a very negative way. They take this in a
Exactly.
very negative way, that we are self-obsessed, and then we are we think that we are this and we think that we are that. But it's not just that. It's just that it's a constant state of trying to remove every single flaw that you
Exactly.
have. And that is
Exactly.
what I believe narcissism is, and that is what I believe being a narcissist is like for me.
Exactly. I agree. as like you mentioned, we both like the people who know us, like yes, they know that we are narcissists. But like, even if I like, if someone asks me, Vihan, are you a narcissist? I say yes, I am a narcissist. But there's also a difference between like believing that I want to become perfect and chasing that perfect. And there's also a difference in a person who degrades or downgrades other people and shows them you're worse than me and I'm the superior one, which I believe is there are a lot of people who do that. I personally don't identify as such a person who like tries to downgrade other people or show them that I'm the superior one or something. I would rather silently work on myself and try to become the perfect person I believe I am. Like, it's a thing. Like, I believe I'm perfect in a lot of things, let's just say. And I see, okay, this thing which I'm not so good in. But I, being a narcissist, I believe no, this can't be a thing I'm not perfect in because I'm perfect in everything. So what I'll do is I'll work no matter how hard I can, I'll work towards making myself, first of all, believe that this is not a shortcoming. And once I make myself believe that this cannot be a shortcoming because I have no weaknesses, I will work towards making it right at the end of the day. Because, like, let's just say I have 10 exams coming up. I have given 9 exams and I have done wonders in them. So, definitely, when I'm going to give the 10th exam, I am going to make myself believe, first of all, that you've nailed the past 9 exams. You are basically perfect. So even if the 10th exam is a subject I'm not very good at, I will at the end of the day end up doing better in it or like working towards it just because of the confidence. Just because of the confidence that I am perfect in everything, I can end up achieving more. On the other hand, if I am very low on self esteem, which is actually the complete opposite of being a narcissist, I can literally have zero self-esteem, and then what would it lead to? It would basically lead me to like messing up the exam, even if I was going to do well in the first place. So I believe narcissism can have its pros. It does have its cons. Like some people, as I said, like some people believe that showing someone as inferior to them is narcissism, which I'm kind of against. But I can't like complain or take names or something. Some people do that. Then some people who are like, as you said, they are self-obsessed, but they don't believe that they're self-obsessed. They just say, I'm narcissist. Well, you're just self-obsessed, and some people don't realize it. Like living in a constant state of I'm the best is self-obsessed, but knowing at the back of your mind that like telling yourself at the back of the mind that Vihan, you're perfect, and constantly side by side completing my getting my work done to achieve that state of perfectness, which is there in my subconscious. That is what I call narcissism. So
Wait,
that was
yeah. Okay.
uh,
We discussed the pros, but the here's where the negative comes in, because
yeah,
we've established that the narcissist believes that they don't have any flaw, that they're perfect.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
thing is that within the narcissist, there's two parts.
Hmm.
One of it is basically ki if they see a flaw, which
Hmm.
eventually everyone will, because we are humans, we all have flaws.
Lost
So
definitely.
when they see the first flaw, there's two type. I don't know if there's two types of narcissist or this is just narcissist and not a narcissist, but
Hmm.
there's two type of people who will when they see a flaw. One, they'll go batshit crazy to remove that flaw, to
Yeah,
eliminate that flaw,
yeah,
and the other who are going to try to basically hide that flaw.
yeah.
Not hide, tell themselves that that flaw doesn't exist, then
Exactly.
that that flaw is not even a flaw.
Hmm. True.
For example, that uh, you know if I tell you that you have terrible grades, there is one
Hmm.
narcissist who is gonna go absolute crazy on this. Somebody
Yeah.
told me that I don't have good grades and I need
Hmm.
good grades now. Now I'm gonna work my ass off to get those grades, to get that grade that I want. And then there's going to
Hmm.
be the other narcissist who's
Hmm.
gonna be like, one sheet of paper cannot decide my future. I don't give a shit
Yeah.
what my grades are, or what these are. This is not a flaw. This is not even a flaw. I don't
This is
believe
not.
this to be a flaw. and I
I
am still
believe
perfect.
that my capability is more than a piece of paper, which is like a very common dialogue. Like
Yeah,
colleges can't decide who I am.
let's
They
not
can't
get into
decide my
that.
grades.
Let's not
Yeah,
get into that,
let's
because
not. Yeah.
that's a whole another discussion. But the point is that there's going to be two types of people who are one
Yeah.
who are going to like who are going to be bothered by the flaw so much that they're
Hmm.
going to do everything and anything within their possibility, within their power, to remove
Hmm.
that flaw. And then there's
Yeah.
going to be the other person who's going to just try to, ignore that flaw, try to
Hmm.
hide that flaw, try to make that flaw, you know, make
Show
that flaw
people
lose
that
its
that flaw
value.
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
don't give the flaw the value that it deserves. Because
True.
honestly, a lot of flaws do deserve a lot of value. Because
Exactly. Like I was gonna like come to the same point. Like at one hand, there's a narcissist who over evaluates their flaws, and there is a narcissist who under evaluates their flaw. Now you have to find the perfect sweet spot. Like honestly, I am the narcissist who like will work his ass off to get the flow like right. And I know like you're the same as well. And it's not something like I'm proud of, honestly. No. Like sometimes it can like hurt like shit because I'll be working towards something which doesn't even have value at the end of the day. And when I'm going to sleep, I realize that what did I just do for my whole day? Like for my whole day, I'll set a goal. Okay, I have to study for 6 hours. Let's just say I'll complete that goal. But after that, I've completed that short term goal. I try to fit that in the long term perspective, and I realize maybe it wasn't that important. Maybe that if I'm getting an A minus instead of an A plus is not a big deal because at the end of the day, an A minus student is getting the same, let's just say, final grade or something, right? So it's just that sometimes some flaws are not worth the effort. Sometimes some flaws are worth the effort totally. It's about judgment, I believe. It's about
and the
maturity. It's
narcissist
about judgment.
judgment in this perspective is clouded by his ego.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And that is the ego, as we said, narcissist. Ego. That's like a narcissist doesn't exist without his or her ego. Like no matter how much you justify it, there is a huge ego in a narcissist. And as you said, with that ego comes two perspectives. Either I'm the fucking god, I'll literally kill it the next time and I will work my ass off. Or that the second type of ego will come in, which will just tell him, you're just good, this doesn't exist, this flaw is just a small flaw, and all that, and they'll just ignore the flaw, right? So that's the thing. In a narcissist, their decision making is hugely clouded by their ego. Now, that's the thing. You have to identify in which category do you fall. Do you under evaluate your flaws? That can be determined by like if you're called careless sometimes.
See,
If
not
someone
everyone is a narcissist. No, not everyone is a narcissist, and no,
exactly
not everyone can evaluate what type of a narcissist they are. Or okay, most
exactly
people. Okay, most people by the traditional definition, the
hmm.
narcissist that we call ourselves, who have a
Hmm.
flaw and want to eliminate that flaw, we're not
Yeah.
even narcissists by the definition.
Yeah, makes
because
sense. Yeah.
because we do realize that we are not perfect. We do realize that we just want to be perfect so bad that
Hmm.
we just fake it till we make it.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
that is true.
that is not in the traditional definition of narcissism. We are not
Exactly.
narcissists,
Yeah,
but
in the traditional.
we like to believe that we like to believe that. Why? Because okay, I'll tell you about this. I read about I've talked about this book before. I didn't read
Hmm.
this. I just heard the audiobook, not even the complete audiobook, some parts of it. I'll not
Yeah.
lie. It's the upside of the downside. I've
Okay.
talked about this in the reel. You remember the reel I made
Yeah. Yeah.
about how being sad is how to be psychologically
Normal.
healthy. You need to be
Exactly.
sad.
Yeah.
So most of the negative emotions that we have in our life,
Hmm.
most of them they're painted in such a bad light that they're the worst. They're the
Hmm.
absolute worst. If you're
Hmm.
depressed, that's the end of the world. If you have anxiety, that's something really bad. If you have
Yeah.
if you feel If you feel stressed, that's really bad. If you feel narcissistic, that's really bad. Because
Bad.
see, these are negative emotions. There's no other
Totally.
way around it. These are definitely negative emotions, and they're not positive emotions. They're not something to have a lot of in your life. But the thing
Hmm.
is, for balance, you do need these
Need
emotions.
them.
You do need to have
Definitely.
these emotions, because without a low, there is no high. That's just the
Definitely.
way of nature. Because
And like for narcissism particularly, sorry, I'm cutting you here.
yeah,
Narcissism, I believe the biggest upside of narcissism is the confidence. Oh my God, like that's the best part about being a narcissist. If you believe you're perfect, you're gonna act like you're perfect. And in some situations, it is all about confidence and believing you're perfect. Even if your preparation is 100%, then it comes down to your performance. And you might have heard this stat. This is like very specific to India, but a student preparing for the JEE, every student is prepared equally well. A lot of students are prepared equally well, but the JEE is not about your preparation, it's more about handling the pressure. And a student who is able to handle the pressure better generally performs better, right? And a student who crushes under the pressure that, oh my God, this is my 2 year preparation, and this is the day that 2 years of my JEE prep have concluded. So, like, under that pressure, if someone breaks or falls apart, they'll generally perform low, right, as compared to the person who was more confident. So, in such a situation, a trait like narcissism can help a person, right? But in another situation where a person believes that I'm perfect and I don't need anything better in myself, which is actually the, as you said, the traditional definition of narcissism. But let's just say if someone is like that, they'll be clouded. They won't. They think that they're perfect while they're not. As we said, human beings aren't perfect, and as a result, they won't improve. And as human beings, obviously, if someone isn't improving, that's the worst thing. I believe, even if you're doing not doing well in life, I believe it's okay as long as you're improving. Once a person stops improving, that's the day a person dies, for me at least. Because as a human being, as long as you're growing, I don't, it's not about lows, it's not about highs, it's not about the rise and fall of your life. Even if you're sad, even if you're happy, I don't care as long as you're improving. It's all about gaining experience.
I'm gonna do this.
But
It, it's about drive. It's about power. It's about we stay hungry, we devour. Oh my god, I love that guy
oh
so
my
much.
god,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
we
I
out
had to
here,
do this.
yeah, we
I'm
out here.
I just
uh,
had to do that. I'm sorry, but I had to do that.
it's fine.
But yes, it is about drive. It is about
It is
power.
about drive. It is about power.
It's about hunger. It's about your hunger.
Yeah.
It's about your hunger to improve. It's about your hunger to grow, and that is what
Yeah.
it's about. And honestly, okay, we're straying off a lot here, but let's get back to narcissism now. The
Yeah.
point was that narcissism is definitely a negative trait, but
Mhm.
the negative trait is that you believe you're better than others. You okay? Narcissism is a lot of times associated with manipulation, and a
Yeah.
lot of narcissists are manipulative. That
Hmm.
they manipulate the situations for their best outcomes. And that is
Hmm.
considered vicious and basically cruel, vicious, and
Hmm.
basically it's a negative trait. But this is very controversial, and this is not very uh, I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's that vicious. It's just your way of getting things the way you want, and
Want, yeah.
that is, I believe, that is just being ambitious, and there is nothing wrong with ambition,
Yeah.
and that is true. Also, the negative side that everybody sees about narcissism, but what nobody sees about narcissism is that narcissists feel entitled.
Yeah. Hmm.
Narcissists, they feel entitled, that they're entitled for success.
Hmm. Hmm.
Narcissists feel entitled for success
Yeah.
because they think that they're perfect, and
Hmm.
because they're entitled for success, they are more likely to do anything and everything
Hmm.
in their power to get the success that they want.
Yeah.
And that is, I believe, the most, the absolute most positive part, the upside of the
Definitely.
narcissistic downside. That is the most upside of it. Because the
Down.
thing is ki, the if you do feel entitled, okay, entitlement is the worst emotion. I hate entitled people. I hate
Same.
entitled people. Agreed. I do hate entitled people, but when it's in respect to other people.
Hmm.
But if I feel entitled within myself, I don't think that's harming anybody, but it's
Yeah.
pushing myself. If I feel entitled within myself,
You're
that
pushing yourself.
that Karan, you are entitled to get an A plus.
Yeah.
If I tell myself that I'm entitled for an A plus, and as long as I'm not going up to my professor and telling her that give
Give
me
me
a
an A
A
plus.
plus, give me an A plus, or because I
I'm
deserve
entitled
the A
to an A
plus,
plus.
because it's me.
Yeah.
Give me an A plus. As long as I'm not doing that, I'm entitled within myself that Karan, you deserve an A plus. You study for an A plus, you'll get an A plus.
Yeah.
That is
Totally.
that entitlement, I think, is not harmful. That entitlement, I think, is actually healthy, because that entitlement gets you working. That entitlement drives you. That
Hmm.
entitlement gives you the power, and that entitlement keeps you hunger and makes you devour. Okay.
We are back on the meme, man. It's
Because
it's
okay,
it's
Rock is
sacred truth. It's
see, Dwayne Johnson
yeah,
is like he's the peak of humanity.
exactly. He's
That man can do anything.
yeah.
That man can do anything. That man has done everything, and it just okay. It just feeds my narcissism that I want to be like him.
Yeah. Makes sense, I guess. Like totally. Like and yeah, as you said, entitlement. Totally agreed. Like for real, there is a difference in like as I said, downgrading other people and telling them that you're inferior to me and actually becoming the superior one. Right? There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in oh my god, I want to be the best student in class, so I'll become Chatur from Three Idiots and give everyone magazines or something like that, and I'll just try to downgrade their grades and actually studying. There's a huge difference in that. So like as you can like within the drive, as you said, it's about drive. Within the drive of that success too, there are various means to actually end up somewhere near that success. You can take various means, right? So yeah, I guess with that we're pretty much done with all the discussion of narcissism, Karan, and yeah, it was a great session. I believe like we had a lot of fun. Honestly, like really had fun recording this one. So yeah, with this, I guess we should wrap up today's podcast. Thank you guys for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the podcast and leave a like and comment if you're watching this on YouTube and share it with your friends. So yeah, peace.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.